Oh, yes.
Everyone just accept that recording because today is a beautiful Froggy Friday. I just want us all to know that you are so welcome here. You are so received here. You are so seen here. And we welcome you. We love you. Reverend Gwen, would you like to open us up in treatment?
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. So just join with me right here and right now. Let's just take that collective breath. Come into this moment. Come into the presence of the presence. Knowing with me right here and right now that there is God and absolutely nothing else. It is the glorious being of our being. It is the thing that moves and breathes us. It is that universal love, that divinity that is within us, as us, and of us. I know that this is that glorious feeling as we fill up and expand to receive that divinity coming through us, knowing that we are God incarnate, that spirit is who we are. And as we come together in this Froggy Friday, knowing that it outpitches in the most perfect way in all aspects, knowing that we have connection in all levels of our being and the internet and the Zoom, et cetera, et cetera. We are never disconnected. I know that this is the truth of our being, that we are in that oneness and wholeness as we gather today to rejoice and to celebrate this beautiful community. We come together in common unity. So we come together to just hold space and receive as a community, outpicturing in that love fest, knowing that we are loved, supported, and guided. And knowing that this is a very special celebration just to be together in each other's time. I know that there is love, there is joy, there is this rejoicing in this time. So I celebrate you. I give thanks for each and every one of you. I release this treatment into the law of mind, knowing that it is done, it is said, it is already complete in the law mind of God. And I am so very grateful that I can let it go and let God. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you for grounding us, Reverend Gwen. So on our agenda today, we had the incredible Claire Summerhill was coming to shine her light with us. We suspect that that beautiful Reverend Claire got the times mixed up. And in her stead, we have someone very special. Today, also, we were going to do our student certificates, which Reverend Gwen and I are going to push off to the new year. So if you're here for your certificates, we'll remind you when you are to come back. But I just want to tell you, as an example, as a leader, as a light, she came on just to receive today. And we said, Reverend Kathryn, will you do the talk? And she said, sure. Such a perfect example of when opportunity knocks, we must answer. So I want to put our hands together, our love, put our spiritual seatbelts on, our listening ears, because this is the one, the only, as I said earlier, often imitated but never duplicated, the Reverend Kathryn Cardinal. Ah, the crowd goes crazy.
Oh, dear Reverend Barb, Reverend Gwen, thank you so much. Wow, what an opportunity, and what an, you know, it's about.
We're going to take advantage of having you whenever we can.
Oh, I'm delighted to be able to be with you this morning. And I didn't know for sure I'd be able to. So it's interesting to listen to that call. And how many times in our life do we need to listen to that call and then just show up and the opportunity arises? So there's a real great message in that. I'm going to talk today about it doesn't hurt to ask, about just asking. And I had the opportunity to think about this on the weekend because in my home community, Reverend Tim was not well on Sunday morning, and I got the call at 8:30 to see whether or not I would be able to provide a Sunday talk, and I leave for church at 9. So I knew what his talk title was, and it doesn't hurt to ask. And I just thought about the things that kind of came about. What I learned in that experience, it was really, really important to be present, because we had an ice storm, and I know that doesn't really probably make much sense to those of you in Kenya, but there was like this much snow and ice, and it was slippery. And I had a little bit of a car thing happen where my window, it was kind of cold. It was minus, I don't know, maybe minus 5, 6, 7. That's below zero. So it was, I bundled up. And I was driving my mom's car, actually, who was visiting. And I went over this bump, and the window just popped down. And I was like, I stopped and I looked, and in my alley, only about 4 or 5 houses down from my house. And I looked and I wondered, do I keep going? It didn't break, but it was twisted, kind of in a really weird way. Do I keep going, or do I go home and get my car? But my car was covered in ice because of the ice storm, and that would have taken me probably 15 minutes to get the snow off. I don't know what the equivalent to that is in Kenya. When you're, maybe if you had a mud storm and your car was covered in mud and you had to and it got all hard. So I decided that I wasn't going to take that amount of time, because now I'm the key holder for our center and I need to get to the centers to be able to open it up. So thankfully I was bundled up, kept on driving, and got to the center, parked, and decided I would deal up the weird whatever was going on with the window after the talk. You know, in that moment, I needed to demand on the universe, what is mine to do in this moment, to create the moment and the experience of what I wanted. And in that moment, I wanted to have peace and joy, and to be able to get to the center, deliver a great service for our people. And I just really let go of this seemingly obstacle in my way. So why am I telling you that? Well, it's an interesting story around this idea of asking. So in this case, I asked myself the questions I needed to know. And the questions are important for us. So when should we ask? What should we ask ourselves? When I first heard this question about it doesn't hurt to ask, I was thinking it was about asking for help. And in asking for help, we can open ourselves up to the opportunity of other people saying yes, because people love to be in service. People love to be able to help each other. Now, granted, it's also important when we're saying yes to when people are asking that we set good boundaries and know when it's appropriate for us to say no, so we don't overextend ourselves and we're not saying yes out of obligation. And yet, people do love to be asked. So thank you, Gwen. It's because I'm not in a regular thing. So anyway, there we go. I'm trying to improve the sound for you. So there's lots of things that we need to be able to ask. And so when I thought about asking for help, I thought, you know what, it's more than that. It doesn't hurt to ask is much more. It's about asking questions for knowledge and curiosity, about learning new things. It's about self-reflection, about where can I move forward in my own life? Where can I increase my peace, love, and joy? Where can I experience more of what I would like to have? And it is in that asking that we will create a demand on the universe. And as you know, many of you are in class, as you know, when we create a demand on the universe, it says yes. The key is for us to get the clarity about what it is that we want to be asking for. And it's questions that can help us with that idea. So I also am curious. I do think one of the things we've discovered during the last 2 years of the pandemic is that we've kind of lost a little bit of that opportunity to chat with people in circle. We do it on Zoom a lot. And I was having a conversation with one of my friends recently who was telling me about a support circle that she was attending, and how helpful it was. And I just theorized, this is not any based on fact, it was a theory in this conversation, that I think what we're finding when people go to formal support circles, whether that's a class or a grief circle or a circle about forgiveness, whatever that circle might be, and we have the opportunity to chat with each other and hear ourselves and to be able to ask ourselves questions and be reflective in that moment, I think it's reminiscent of the old-fashioned barn raising. And in North America, in our history, you would see farmers come together, in the 1800s and the early 1900s, and they would come together and build a barn together. And I'm sure there's things in your communities that will be this similar situation where people come together and build something. Now, and during that barn raising, because, genders kind of did their own thing at that time period in our history, the men would talk about things. They'd ask each other questions. They'd learn from each other. They'd talk about what the issues and challenges they might be having with their crops or their horses or whatever. And they'd come together and be able to learn, but also have the opportunity for self-reflection. At the same time, what was happening often in the houses or the kitchens is that the women would be coming together and creating large meals so people would be able to eat together. And while they were doing that, they would be having the same types of conversations. Again, kind of almost like a formal, what has emerged to be, I think, the formal circles that we have, but people would be together in community, listening, asking questions, learning, and in that, claiming what it is that they wanted to have in their lives. We also saw that with quilt making. So women would get together and they'd have quilt making circles where they would sit together and everybody would do their sewing and over time put love into their quilts. But the biggest piece of those circles and opportunities where people had the opportunity to come together. And I think what we're seeing now in today's society is because we don't have as many of those type of opportunities because we've become so much more individualistic, that we have created now in our society a way that we can recreate those feelings of community. We come together in a circle for a common purpose to be able to talk and learn and ask our questions. So I think we find great healing in that. Anybody that I've talked to that has gone to a circle comes away and says, boy, it might have been hard, especially if it was a grief circle, for example, but it was good. It was emotional, but it was good. There is something that's yearning within us to be able to express and to be able to open ourselves up to the innate wisdom of others. So I ask you, where in your world can you do that? Where can you open up your experience to be able to ask some additional questions? Now, when we ask questions, there's so much power in the question. We ask ourselves, where do I want to have more joy? How can I see more abundance in this experience? How can I learn more about this topic that's interesting me? What opportunities may and are showing up for me? There's a key thing in that moment when we're making the demand on the universe, and that is the power of silence. So if we ask the question, what is my bigger self-expression in this moment? And then we go into silence and we listen. What is yearning to emerge by means of me? And then we listen. That's a really good technique in conversation with friends and family as well. And as the students, as Christine could tell you, often in the classes that I'm in, I'll ask a question and then I'll get quiet, allowing the wisdom of our students to come forth. Now, they don't always like that in that moment, because sometimes it's much easier if the teacher just keeps talking, right? If somebody asks you a question, I see some of you smiling, because it's hard if someone asks us a question and we don't maybe think we're ready. But we are ready, and their wisdom and the innate wisdom of each other and within ourselves is always ready to be expressed. So I challenge you to do it with yourself. Listen, and listen deeply. It's those questions that will allow us to dig deeper It's the questions that will allow us to get clarity about what it is that we want. And then we have the opportunity to make our demand on the universe. It doesn't hurt to ask at all. And when we make the demand on the universe, the science of mind tells us that it comes forth. The universe is always saying yes. I have a great quote from the Science of Mind textbook on this topic, and I'll send it out via the WhatsApp community afterwards, so you can reflect upon the quote of how, when we ask, the answer appears for us. We are also moving into the season of light, and it's a great opportunity for us to take some time out of our busy schedules to reflect on the things that are important for us. How do we want to spend more time with our family and loved ones? Where can we set our intentions for the new year and set our goals? What is it that I would like to create? And that gives us then the opportunity to absolutely have the universe say yes and allow these demonstrations to show up in our experience. For those of you that may be from the traditionally from the Christian tradition, we're in the season of Advent. The season of Advent is all about the season of light. And I bought a candle a couple of years ago that was a little bit of a different candle. It was a Danish candle based on something called huggy, which is a Danish way of being about taking time to be cozy and to relax into the intimacy of family and friends and things that nourish our souls. So this Advent candle, instead of having 4 candles and one for each Sunday, this Danish Advent candle is really about connecting with that place within us. And it has 24 little lines on the candle with the idea that you would burn it nightly during the season of December, reminding us about the light that is within and allowing us and having us remember to take the time for self-reflection and to be with those that we care about, whatever that might look like for us. Now, it's said that the Danish people, because they follow this as a practice in their life, that they are according to the studies, one of the happiest people on earth. And they really have this idea of, how do we make our life cozy and comfortable? So I challenge us to, what one thing could we do in our world this week to make our life more comfy and comfortable? Even if that is asking ourselves inside the self-reflection question, how can I be more comfortable and cozy in my own head and in my own being? Because it all starts within. So it is really, really an opportunity to ask ourselves again, what is it that you want? Do you want help? Do you want to have more knowledge or understanding? Do you want to have a bigger idea? Do you want to know about the possibility or potentiality for each of our lives? What is it that I want? All we need to do is make the demand on the universe, because the universe always says yes. And it's up to us. All we need to do is ask. So I invite you, just ask.
Oh, Reverend Kathryn, just pull it right out of the heart. Just ask. And we had the courage when you signed on to create a space and say, hey, want to do this? And look how blessed we are by your wisdom and your knowledge and your sharing. Thank you, Reverend Kathryn. Comfy and cozy.
Thank you so much.
How do you spell huggy?
Good question. It's actually Hygge. So I'm going to pop that into the chat.
It's a full word. It has lots of impact. I loved it.
Yeah.
There's a new word for our vocabulary, everyone.
It's a Danish word, so it's a bit hard for me even to say it. I think it's kind of hugga is I think the proper way of saying it, but I always say huggy because it's easier.
It sounds right though, because it's a hug.
Sorry.
I love it. Oh, well, let's open up. Does anybody have any questions directed towards our beautiful Reverend Kathryn and her incredible
Or maybe
talk?
you've already got in mind what you would like to do differently to bring in that comfort and hug already. So like, if you're willing to share, do it. We'd love to hear. You have to unmute. See, we
Mr.
got
Paul.
Patrick, Lamac, and George joined us. Paul, hi.
Paul, I'm gonna get you to unmute and share your wisdom with us. Ask any question, my friend.
Hi, Reverend Kathryn.
Hi, Paul. Nice to see you.
You just about said Reverend Paul.
I did.
There are
You
no
get that a
mistakes.
lot.
So, Reverend Kathryn, I want to go into silence. Just respond. Don't give me the silence thing, eh?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
He's saying, don't give him the silent treatment. He's being silly.
You just want the answers, Paul. Well, I know that they are there. I know they're within you. But of
Okay.
course, if you really want to know, you just have to ask then. Please just tell me.
You know what, Kathryn, we've got time. Why don't we do it really quickly? You ask
What's
the
that?
question, we have a silence, everybody can jot down, we can get really grounded and into it and centered into it.
Okay,
Yeah, we've got time.
awesome.
Let's do it.
Let's take a deep breath. What would I like to create in my life right now? What is the bigger idea for my life that wants to be expressed by means of me? What brings me the most joy? How can I have more joy in my life right now? Where am I holding myself back? What would bring me more peace? Hi, Kevin. Welcome. We're just asking ourselves some questions and you can just jot what comes up for you. What practice would I like to increase in my life? Where can I express more kindness? how can I show myself more love for myself? Said another way, how can I love myself more fully? Where can I express more gratitude? How can I be in more service to the world? Who could I connect with today to have more people connection? How can I get a bigger idea of God in my life? How can I expand or deepen my consciousness? What's the question I wish you would ask? So I know the answers to all of these questions are within, and they're coming forth with ease and grace as we allow ourselves this opportunity to be present with ourselves and being present with that divine connection that each of us has right here, as close as our breath. So I know the wisdom is within, and I'm grateful for seeing it, hearing it, and knowing it in this moment. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Wow. That is powerful.
I love this questioning at this time of year. It's really has more importance to me. I was because this is the time of reflection. I always feel like December is a time of reflection because in our world we get shorter daylight times, and so we're experiencing darkness at 4:30 in the afternoon, and you just want to cocoon and you want to just bundle up and do the hugging. And so it's just with yourself. So to have these questions and the inquiry is a great opportunity. Thank you.
Wow. Tendai, do you have something that you'd like to share with us?
Good morning or good evening and good morning and good afternoon, everyone. It's a little early for me. I loved it, Reverend Kathryn. Oh my God. I heard myself in so much of what you said in a talk that I used to give. In presentations I've had, I've said some of the most similar things about women's circles, being together, and support groups, and what they're called now, what they used to be. And it just took me back to a place, to be quite honest, that I love to be, and doing the work that I love to do, and have kind of pushed it aside a little bit. But now you've told me, you've shown me that it's time to bring that back into the front of the work that I do, and it's okay. I work with women and supporting them in finding their purpose. And so, yes, thank you for that. And the questions also. One of my tools that I offer is how to ask empowering questions to yourself.
Yes.
So I'm just like sitting in and being in the warmth and the reminders that came through you to me. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it so much. And I wrote down every single question. Yes, thank you. It was beautiful. Absolutely.
Thank you, Brenda. Oh,
Thank you.
God is so good all the time, and all the time, God is so good. Oh, Philip, do you have anything you'd like to share? Any input, any thoughts that came up?
Well, it was refreshing to hear the questions, and every time the question was asked, I got answers immediately, partly because I'm doing a week-long program by Bob Proctor. It's called Sprinting into the New Year. So all along the week, we've been doing some questions and some assignments. And on day 3, they asked us to write our goals 50 times. And so most of the questions were really hard answers because I had internalized the goals, internalized the answers. And so it was just refreshing to remind myself of where I want to be. So thank you for the questions. Yeah.
Beautiful.
How do you like Bob Proctor, Philip?
He's still going strong at 87.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you think, Reverend Kathryn, you could send me those and we can try and get them out to our community? If they're easy and compact enough to send those questions out, do you think you could email those to me? Thank you. Thank you.
How about you, Patrick? Any insights from this morning?
I was.
We want to hear from the wisdom of the beard.
Gwen, there you go again. I can't escape it.
Don't you dare shave that beard.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Reverend Kathryn. And I think I'll comment partly from the talk. I think now we need to make a New Year intentions, as you said, and not New Year resolution. The resolutions are usually broken by February, because I don't think they have any backing behind them. But when you have intentions, and we know they have the backing of the Spirit, maybe intention will work more. So that is an insight for me. And then the questions reminded me of visioning.
Yeah.
Because visioning, when you do visioning, this question comes, then you have to listen. And the answer must be there. And the answer is not coming from out there. The answer is within. And because we are individualized centers of God, we already have the answers according to our own, according to our own makeup. So that what we need to do then is to listen and then rediscover or even remember some of the things that, our makeup kind of shows us the direction. And the question was quite refreshing for me again, because some of these questions, although I've not done that Proctor course Philip is doing, but some of these questions have been there before. At least I've come across them and I've had answers, and they kind of reminded me of my vision and what I need to do. And the answer is always in the silence, because the answers are already there. But most of the time we don't give ourselves a chance to listen. I think when we listen, we'll keep on getting the answers, and maybe act, and not maybe, and actually act on them. So thank you very much.
I love that, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Think of a song. You guys know that I think in lyrics and songs, and you make me think of a song. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am.
Yeah.
I am remembering. Yeah, that's, you make me remember that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Wow. So what
Hi, Irene. Hi, Agnes. Kevin, y'all joined in.
Thank you for joining us. What I want to tell everybody is on Christmas Eve, December 24th, Christmas Eve, December 24th, Reverend Eileen Burnell is going to be doing the Christmas talk. And then in the new year on January 7th, our ministerial students will be doing exactly what you talked about, Patrick, the release and the intention. And so we want to make sure we invite our whole community to that. And the other thing that we're going to be offering starting in the new year is at the end of a Froggy Friday, we will open up a space for our practitioners when they are available to do treatment work for whoever would like to stay for treatment. And we
in the
want
privacy of a breakout room. No, it's private. Yeah.
Thank you, Reverend Gwen. Yes.
Yeah.
It'll just be you and the practitioner receiving treatment. And we want you to know that that will begin in the new year. We'll start creating that space. And Tendai, you're a practitioner too. So we'd love to invite you to be part of that, serving our community as well as our community. Christine is on, she's a practitioner, and we have so many practitioners that are coming up. So there's always goodness when we, thank you, Tendai, when we are open to receive. The blessed are the givers and the receivers. So Reverend Gwen and I want to also tell everybody how grateful we are, how incredibly, profoundly grateful we are for everyone who attends every Froggy Friday, for every class that you come into, for every correspondence on WhatsApp that you participate in. You are helping and you are part of this bigger idea of growing our community and taking this teaching out into the world. And it makes me verklempt, it makes me cry, because I know your commitment and your dedication and your love that you continue to give, the love and your willingness to love us back as we love you back. We're like, I love us. We're a big love fest, and I love that. And so we're embarking in a time where, as Patrick said, we're setting our intentions for the new year. We want you to be part of that. You're part of that. Your ideas, your thoughts, your dreams, your intentions are all part of moving our community forward. The spontaneity that we had today with Reverend Kathryn, the synchronicity that we had with her coming on. Sure, Reverend Gwen and I would have been able to deliver a talk and share life with you, but this was what was needed today. Yes, this message that she gave was perfect. This is the perfect example of spirit coordinating and having its way as we keep continuing to say yes, 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 yes. When opportunity knocks, we say yes. When we need each other, we say yes, yes, yes. So thank you.
Yes. And know that as this community, as you expand your consciousness, that you are the light in this world. This is the light everyone is waiting for. And that's why just your presence and that inner essence of you shows up and emanates out into the world that is in so much need of peace and harmony. And just being in this teaching and then that awareness, Let's sing the song, Barb,
Yes,
because we
Reverend
are the
Gwen.
light, each and
I'm
every
ready.
one of us.
You want to start it off, friend, or do you want me to?
Sure. So I want you to unmute. You can all sing this with us. We're just going to throw it out there into the center and spread it out and let it ripple into our communities, our lives, and the world. I am the light. I am the light. I am the light of this world. And I shine, yes, I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, yes, I shine, and I shine so bright. Barb.
You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright, and you shine, oh, you shine. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light of this world. We are the light, own it. We are the light, we are the light of this world. And we shine, yes, we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, yes, we shine, and we shine so bright. Yay! Yay! Let us
Own
do
that,
our
step into it
affirmation.
and claim it, that you are the light in this world.
And as you give yourself permission to shine your light, you too are giving everyone else around you to shine their light as you own it, as Reverend Gwen said, as you claim it, as you embrace it and celebrate it. We are the light, and we take it and we share it and we shine it and we love it and we say yes. And now let's affirm that as we share these affirmations. I will say the affirmation and then you will repeat it after me. So feel free to unplug. Right here and right now, I breathe in infinite love.
Right here
And right now, I breathe in infinite love.
Letting it flow through each cell and organ of my body.
Letting it flow through each cell and organ of my body.
Today, I celebrate the joy of being alive.
Today, I celebrate the joy of being alive.
Knowing all is well, I give thanks for the miracle of life.
Knowing all is well, I give thanks for the miracle
of life.
And you are our miracle. And we continue to have miracle after joy, after love, after faith, after treasure, after gift, after gift. So go forth and shine your light, shine it bright and share it with the world because you deserve it. We love you. And we'll see you Christmas Eve. We want to see this whole Zoom room packed. We want to have pages and pages of people celebrating as we come together. And if you feel so inclined to share your abundance and your prosperity, you know where to donate. We are open to receive because it comes back into our community of which we are all part of. I love us. I love us. Happy, happy day. Asante Sana.
Happy day, asante sana.
Thank you, asante sana.
Karuba.
Karubu.
Karibu.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Thanks for the correction.
Bye, baby.
Thank you,
Goodbye,
Tendai.
sweetheart.
Bye, Agnes. Bye, Lamech.